Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications. This is Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Maya Tate. Earlier this week, a terrorist attack in Kashmir has left India at odds with Pakistan. But first, President Donald Trump is almost single-handedly moving stock markets around the world with his tariff policies. Experts say he may also be moving the U.S. and global economies towards slowdowns. Trump claims he has the right to impose tariffs unilaterally when fentanyl and border security are involved. He also argues trade deficits are a national threat to security. Amy Kiley reports on a new lawsuit challenging that assertion.
The president has absolutely no legal authority to issue these tariffs.
A group of 12 states is suing the Trump administration over the president's use of tariffs. It's taking the matter to the U.S. Court of International Trade. President Donald Trump claims he can impose tariffs single-handedly due to the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. It gives the president authority to respond to unusual and extraordinary threats.
We started with the fentanyl border tariffs. The IEPA is also used for the trade deficit.
The lawsuit argues that's an overreach. It notes the Constitution gives Congress the power to collect taxes and duties. U.S. businesses have to pay applicable tariffs on imports. Experts say they often pass on some or all of that expense to consumers in the form of higher prices.
Arizona cannot afford this Trump tax increase. And make no mistake, no matter what Orwellian doublespeak the White House uses, tariffs are taxes.
The lawsuit comes as Trump is warning negotiations during his 90-day pause on so-called reciprocal tariffs might not last 90 days in some cases. He says he might have some rates settled in 2 or 3 weeks.
We're going to have great deals. And by the way, if we don't have a deal with a company or a country, we're going to set the tariff.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The state coalition's lawsuit isn't the only one challenging Trump's tariffs. California Governor Gavin Newsom is suing the president in federal court. Several businesses and civil rights groups are also challenging the legality of his trade policies. A group of terrorists opened fire on tourists in Kashmir, India this past Tuesday. The Resistance Front, an Islamic terror group from Pakistan, separated men from women and children before shooting them. The 26 victims of the shooting were forced to recite Islamic prayers to prove their faith. 20 other individuals are also reported to be injured in the attack. On the Wednesday following the attack, India accused Pakistan of supporting terror groups in the region. The two countries' relationship continues to falter. New Delhi downgraded ties with Islamabad, shut down a key border crossing, and suspended a crucial water-sharing agreement. India Prime Minister Narendra Modi promised crowds in India that the country is fighting for justice.
Will never be broken by terrorism. Terrorism will not go unpunished. Every effort will be made to ensure that justice is done.
Vice President J.D. Vance was in India during the attack for a meeting with the Prime Minister and offered his condolences to the victims. This is the worst terrorist attack in India since the 2008 Mumbai attacks. Looking now to the weather, the rain is going to stick around this afternoon as the wind begins to pick up and there's a possibility of thunderstorms this afternoon. Tonight, the chances for thunderstorms only go up as the weather drops down to the high 40s. As we look ahead to the weekend, it seems like the rain may hang around. On Friday, expect some clouds to linger as we see a slight chance of showers before 1 p.m. Your high for Friday is going to be around 63 degrees and is going to be windy for Saturday. The clouds are going to clear up a little bit. 65 is going to be the high for the day, with some wind coming in from the northeast to keep things cool. The rain is going to make a comeback Sunday for a possibility of thunderstorms all day long. The temperature is also going to jump up with a high of 75 degrees. Nearly half of Americans live in an area with a failing grade for air pollution, according to a new report from the American Lung Association. What we breathe can raise the risk of several health problems, and it not only affects your lungs, but also your heart. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has ways to keep your body healthy despite the quality of the air around you.
In the U.S., around 156 million people are living around unhealthy air, according to a new report using the latest air quality data from 2021 to 2023. That's about 25 million more than last year's report.
It appears that unless we make some significant changes or have some significant technological leaps, our air quality is probably headed more for the worse.
Exposure to particle pollution not only affects lungs, the World Health Organization says exposure can also raise risk of health problems like certain cancers, stroke, asthma, preterm births, dementia, depression, and anxiety. There's also a significant impact on your heart, says cardiologist Dr. Andrew Freeman with National Jewish Health.
It creates inflammation. It's associated with atherosclerosis or coronary disease, and it can increase event rates. And so we're starting to really pay attention.
To keep bodies as healthy as possible in poor air quality, Freeman says to change air filters frequently to remove irritants from the air, properly ventilate your living space, monitor ozone levels. You may want to avoid times when they peak. Stay indoors if possible on days when the air quality is poor, especially if you have a chronic heart or lung condition. And he says to prioritize your health.
Exercising, eating mostly plants, sleeping enough, getting rid of stress, connecting with others. We are social beings, and there's significant outcomes data about how that impacts cardiac health.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Freeman says another facet to this conversation is working together to reduce pollution so that it doesn't affect our health. That includes biking or walking when we can instead of driving to places, and being aware of our emissions. He also says eating a more plant-based diet is not only good for your heart, but also the environment. Thank you for tuning in to this Nebraska Nightly Update. You can follow Nebraska Nightly on Instagram and Twitter at Nebraska Nightly. And be sure to tune into our next live show tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. and our next show on Monday also at 4:30. Have a good evening.
Nebraska Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.